You know that voice inside your head, the one that's with you all day long, narrating your every move? Well, we all have one. It's our constant companion. But what happens when that companion turns into our harshest critic? In this explainer, we're going to dive deep into the world of self talk so we can finally understand and maybe even tame that inner voice. So, have you ever been caught, muttering to yourself while you're looking for your keys? Or maybe thinking through your to do list out loud while you're brushing your teeth? If you have, you are definitely not alone. In fact, decades of psychological research show it's a completely normal part of being human. I mean, think about it. For a lot of us, it starts the second we wake up. That little voice groaning about the alarm clock. This is that everyday, kind of mundane self-talk that most of us do without even noticing. It's just the background music of our lives. But sometimes that background music can get pretty harsh. A simple moment of frustration, like misplacing your keys, can suddenly trigger this brutal self-assessment. And it's this critical voice that can have a real and pretty lasting impact on our well-being. So let's get into it. What exactly is this voice? Well, first off, it's not a sign that something's wrong with you. It's a fundamental part of being human, a constant companion that pretty much all of us have. Psychologists have a name for this, of course. They call it self-talk. It's basically all those verbalized thoughts we direct right at ourselves. Whether it's a totally silent inner monologue or you're muttering under your breath, it's just our way of processing, planning, and making sense of the world. Okay, and this is crucial. Not all self-talk is created equal. There's helpful self-talk, telling yourself, you got this, you're prepared, that can actually improve your focus and performance. But when that voice turns negative and toxic, it can be genuinely harmful, even predicting things like anxiety and making feelings of depression even worse. So the big question is, where does this inner critic even get its script? Well, understanding its origin story, which usually starts way back in childhood, is really the first step to being able to rewrite it. Well, according to a psychologist named Lev Vygotsky, our self-talk actually starts out loud. When we're little kids, we talk ourselves through things, right? Often repeating what our parents or teachers have told us. Then, over time, that external chatter turns inward, and it becomes our own private inner dialogue. But it's not just a simple developmental process. The tone of our inner voice, whether it's kind or critical, is also shaped by our life experiences. Things like unintentional pain passed down from our caregivers or really hurtful moments with other people can get internalized and end up forming the foundation of that harsh inner critic. This brings us to a really critical question. Why on earth do we believe all the negative things we tell ourselves? How does a fleeting thought suddenly feel like a cold, hard fact? The answer, it turns out, is all about how our brains are wired. And this is the absolute core of it all. Your brain processes the information coming from your inner voice, your thoughts, your memories, your worries, in a very similar way to how it processes information from your five senses. So to your brain, that negative thought you keep repeating can feel just as real as the chair you're sitting in right now. This whole effect gets amplified by these really common negative thinking patterns. Take personalizing, where you somehow make every bad thing that happens your fault. Or filtering, where you could get 9 positive comments and 1 negative one, and guess which one you'll obsess over. These patterns create this distorted reality that feels completely 100% believable. Okay, so we know what it is, where it comes from, and why it's so darn powerful. But here is the good news. We are not stuck with it. Not at all. So let's look at some practical, science-backed ways to actually change that inner dialogue. This is a core technique from something called cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. It's really a simple 3-step process. First, you just catch and identify the negative thought. Second, you challenge it like a detective. Is there any real evidence for this? Is it really true? And finally, you replace it with something more balanced, more compassionate. Let's see how this actually works. The before thought, I'm so disorganized, feels like a permanent fact about who you are, right? But the afterthought, I could use reminders, reframes it as a simple behavior that you can actually change. This isn't about lying to yourself. It's a huge shift from a fixed identity to an actionable problem you can solve. And hey, changing your self-talk isn't just some mental exercise you do in a vacuum. It's a whole life process. The people you surround yourself with, your physical health, your ability to laugh at yourself, all of these things help build a more positive inner world. Now, while all these individual strategies are incredibly powerful, there is one more piece of the puzzle that is absolutely essential, and that is connection. Because trying to fight a harsh inner critic all by yourself can be an incredibly lonely experience. This is such a powerful way to put it, isn't it? When it's left unchecked, negative self-talk can truly make you feel like you're walking completely alone in this endless dark tunnel. You're trying to move forward, but the whole journey just feels isolating and completely overwhelming. But you are not doomed to walk that tunnel alone. In those really dark moments, the kindness and perspective of people who care about you can be like rays of sunshine breaking through. They remind us that we are not the harsh words we tell ourselves. Their support can literally give us the hope we can't seem to find on our own. So, as we wrap this up, just remember this. That voice in your head, it isn't going anywhere. It's a partner you're going to have for your entire life. The only thing you truly have the power to change is the tone of that conversation. So the real question is, what will you choose to say next?